Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Assemble. My name is High Ruler, and today we're talking about Marvel XCOM. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Marvel XCOM has been a game I've been waiting for since before E3, and when it wasn't announced, I was like, uh-oh. But today we have some new details that will kind of make you guys scratch your head, or maybe this will make you guys very excited. So, the information comes courtesy of Jeff Grubb, and obviously this is on Video Games Chronicles, so we're going to go through it, we're going to talk about it, and honestly, I don't know how to feel about it, so we're going to figure out that at the end of this video, so let's get right into it. So the title says, the Marvel XCOM game will reportedly let players make their own superheroes. Firaxis' unannounced strategy game will not include existing Marvel characters, it's claimed. Okay, so, alright, let's see exactly what we got going on. So, publisher 2K recently confirmed its plan to announce a new franchise later this month, and Grubb claimed that the setup of Firaxis' Marvel title could mean that it's considered an original property despite being based on the famous superhero universe. Okay, so he says the reason that it might still be considered a new property, even though it's a Marvel thing, is that this is not going to pick up on any existing franchise in the MCU. It's not going to be existing characters. Okay, so a few things here. I don't think anyone expected it to be an MCU, right? Like, I don't, like, I'm going to forgive people who don't necessarily know Marvel games or don't necessarily know the distinction between the movies and the games. I don't know if there's any sort of person who expected this to be an MCU thing, okay? Let's just go with that. So it's not going to have any existing MCU characters, but it should take place in the wider universe. Okay, once again, it probably was never going to take place in the MCU because they have like their gamerverse, right? But it should take place in the wider universe implies that it takes place in the Marvel universe, okay? He added, the game is going to focus on the supernatural elements in the Marvel universe. I don't know if that necessarily means like Blade, but I do think there will be vampires in it. And I don't know if it means mystical Marvel characters, but I think you might see enemies of that type that you're fighting. The journalist went on to claim that the title would allow players to customize the team of superheroes, similarly to how players can customize their squad in the XCOM games. Okay, so basically what we're getting at here, if Jeff Grubb is to be believed, right? So it's taking place within the wider Marvel universe, of course, right? You don't have, your team of superheroes that you would expect, right? No Avengers, no like anybody, right? Like no Defenders, no Guardians, no X-Men, no Fantastic Four. You got nobody. But you're able to create your own team of superheroes, right? Probably under the directive of, like, let's say the directive is like under Nick Fury, right? Let's just go with that, right? Very simple, very easy. You're under the directive of Nick Fury, and you have a team of superheroes that are able to go and fight this mystical Marvel enemies, right? Okay. I do think that the character that you're playing will be customizable superhero. At least the team might be customizable. So it's still going to have XCOM in that way. But that's why it's not going to be taking place in the existing lineage of franchises. So I guess they might consider this a new property. Okay, so once again, this was never going to take place anywhere across the spectrum of any sort of existing franchises, right? Like, this is totally a new thing, right? So I don't know if anyone ever expected this to take place in the MCU, in the Avengers universe, in the Spider-Man universe, in the Guardians universe. Like, this was totally its brand new thing, right? So I once again, I don't know. Maybe this is talking to the people who may assume that, but I think for most people who follow Marvel games, this was basically understood, right? So I guess this would be a new property in that sense because it is Marvel XCOM, Firaxis XCOM game. It is splintered off from all that stuff, but once again, I feel like I'm playing a little bit of semantics there. The existence of Firaxis Marvel Project was outed by multiple sources in June, a month earlier. 2K parent, okay, whatever. Basically, that's all the information we get. So before E3, I had said that there's two ways to take this Marvel Firaxis game, right? The first was, just throw in a bunch of superheroes and just do basically Ultimate Alliance, but XCOM. And that's a legitimate strategy there. You take basically all the superheroes you got, you put them up against some sort of crazy threat, and you basically just translate the Ultimate Alliance kind of like craziness, and you have like your 4-player team there, and you're basically translating the style of game, right? So from isometric, top-down kind of action game into a XCOM style of game, right? Could have worked. Or you do the, shield agents kind of game, right? And I think that would have worked too, right? Instead of superheroes, you have a bunch of shield agents, and you have like similar to what the XCOM game is, basically almost like a reskin, could have done that as well. But instead, what they're doing is they actually, if Jeff Grubb is correct, and I have no reason to believe he's not, Jeff Grubb is someone who's trusted within the wider scope of gaming journalists, so I'm going to assume he is correct. This route that they're taking is that you basically have your own team of superheroes that you're able to customize. Interesting. I wonder how this is going to work, right? I think to a certain degree, and people can tell me I'm wrong, right? To a certain degree, even though people, for example, may not like the Avengers is still the characters that you know, right? You still have Cap, you still have Iron Man, you still have Hulk, Widow, Thor, Miss Marvel, Hawkeyes, and now Black Panther, right? They're still the characters you know. Taking the Marvel universe and putting yourself in it with a CAC, which is create your own character, custom made character or whatever. I don't know if that still has the same appeal as like, something of like you get to go into this game and play Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, you know what I mean? Like I wonder how many people are still going to be in it, right? Because like even though you may have some of these characters show up within the narrative and the story, there's still the draw of like playing as these characters that is now being taken away. And I wonder how that's going to affect this game. And that's not even to say that this game isn't going to be good or this game's not going to be amazing, because like this game has everything going for it, right? Marvel, XCOM, like putting that in the Marvel universe. There's a lot there that makes this game very appealing. But one of those things that makes it very appealing, or did make it very appealing, is being able to play all these different characters in your own team, customizing their abilities, synergizing, trying to figure out ways to kind of make them work across different missions, across different terrains. And now it's like you don't really get that if this is true. So, I mean, it's one of those things that we're going to have to wait and see, but I can understand that now people might actually check out of this. But there may be people who look at this and say, like, you get to create your own Marvel superhero. That's so cool, right? And, like, it's one of those things where it's going to be a divide now, right? If this is to be true. So, I mean, that's one of the things I'm waiting to see now. Like, if this is the one franchise that's being, announced at Gamescom or very soon, that's one of the things to look for, right? Is this going to be your own character? And if it is, let's wait and see what happens, man. I would have much them rather take like the Shield route, or like your team of like special agents, whether it's Shield or Sword or whoever, and you're just doing that. And honestly, that to me would have been like a pretty even ground between like superhero craziness and like still the XCOM game, right? You just make them Shield, right? But who knows, man? Who honestly knows? Let's wait and see what happens. But I gotta say, if this is to be true, and obviously there's still a little bit of here that's a little unclear with Jeff Grubb. If this does turn out to be true, I am going to be a little disappointed, but not to the degree where I'm going to like hate the game or anything, just a little disappointed. So let's wait and see what happens, guys. But if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more Marvel XCOM stuff, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time here in Assemble. My name's been High Ruler. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you guys later. Peace.